Chapter 115. Life in Honolulu. After compiling a list of potential apartments and houses to rent, as well as the corresponding agents to contact for a visit, Riel was about to shut her laptop. However, she decided to take a moment to review some photographs she had with Hyen-ki. As she perused them, tears welled up in her eyes, and she came to the realization of just how much they had shared together. As she gazed at Hyen-ki's photo for a while, she realized how much she still missed him. Despite the pain he caused her, despite his mistakes, she never regretted loving him. Their son was a blessing, and brought them immense joy. After a while, Riel had listed all the houses and apartments she would want to see before she decided. She contacted sales agents to help her get the best place for her and her son. One agent replied, and said he would meet her at the hotel to fetch her. The agent arrived on time, and went to pick up Riel in her room. "Hi, I'm Dwayne Bennett, representing Hokkaido Builders, Incorporated." Dwayne was stunned, because before him was an attractive woman, contrary to his thought that he would be meeting someone older. "I'm Mrs. Han, and with me is my son. Which place in your list will you show me today?" Dwayne replied, feeling starstruck. "We have 2 available houses for you to choose from, ma'am. Is your husband coming along?" he asked curiously. "No, just me and my son." "Shall we go?" Dwayne brought Riel to a house for viewing. She could hear the waves rolling down the sea as they drove the avenue. Riel became interestingly curious. "Is the house you're about to show near the beach?" Dwayne smiled, and said, "Yes, ma'am. It is only walking distance." "We are already here, ma'am." Riel was in awe of the beautiful house that Dwayne had showed her. The bungalow was splendid, with neat shrubs planted beneath every glass window, and a cemented pathway leading to the main entrance. The lawn was expansive, surrounded by mature trees and freshly trimmed grass, and the carport was spacious. Despite the absence of a fence or gate, the door had a security lock. As soon as she stepped inside, she was greeted by a stunning interior with impeccable finishes. Stained glass windows separated the dining and living spaces, while the fully furnished kitchen boasted modern appliances. The bedrooms were equally impressive, with their walk-in closets, and the stunning views through large picture windows. Outside, the shaded backyard offered a breathtaking garden view complete with bamboo sofas and a center table. The area was surrounded by coconut trees and palms, making it a little haven. The master's bedroom is situated on an elevated area with 4 steps. As Riel was about to get in, Dwayne uttered regrettably, "Ma'am, the bedroom is currently inaccessible, as it is securely locked. The owner has explicitly stated that the main bedroom is off-limits, and intended for their private use only. I apologize for any inconvenience." He apologized. "Oh, I understand. Anyway, only my son and I will be living here, and it is only temporary. 1 bedroom is enough," she replied. "Won't your husband be joining you?" "Ma'am," Dwayne was puzzled. "No, just me and my son, as our bonding vacation time. My son and I will stay here for 2 to 3 months. So what are the terms so we can finalize everything in your office?" Dwayne mentioned that this house is conveniently located near the supermarket, restaurants, parks, and even the beach. Riel observed that the bedroom had new pillows, blankets, and bedsheets in its packaging. The kitchen was fully equipped with all the necessary paraphernalia for cooking. "I just need to stock up the fridge and buy cleaning supplies for laundry and dishes. Can I use everything here without bothering the owner?" Riel asked. Dwayne replied, "The owner won't mind, ma'am. It was a part of the lease contract. The pillows and bedsheets used by our vacationers were disposed of for new ones, as safety health measures. So if you need any assistance, you can call me anytime. It would be a pleasure to help however I can, ma'am." After a couple of days, Riel completed the lease contract documentation, and then checked out of the hotel. Dwayne kindly helped her with their luggage. Upon arrival at their new vacation home, Hyungsik was eager to play ball in the backyard. Riel began to unpack their belongings, and felt contented with the thought of leasing this house for a few months. Seeing her son happy while playing outside made her believe that everything would be all right for the both of them. Riel called Hyungsik. "Let us go to the supermarket to fill this fridge. Then, we'll have a picnic by the seashore tomorrow. Do you like that?" Riel was exuberant about her idea, making Hyungsik more excited. The days turned into routine, and became light and easy for the mother and son. They went to the beach every morning, playing, building, and drawing in the sand, running around, basking in the sun, or lying lazily on the seashore. When the temperature rises, both mother and son walked back home. Daily chores were light for Riel, since only 2 lived in that house. She enjoyed cooking and cleaning around, which she was not accustomed to, having the house staff do the chores and cook for her. She discovered new recipes online and enjoyed cooking and washing clothes with the washing machine and dryer. For her present life made her a fulfilled mother, taking care of his son and attending to all his needs, and slowly, she was healing from her grief. Meanwhile, Akio met his architect staff in his office in the global city for their out-of-the-country trip. After dialogues and brainstorming, he told his team to prepare the documents and blueprints needed to meet with the clients, then instructed them to prepare their passports and start packing. Nolan, one of the architects, asked Akio, "Sir, if we are going to Honolulu and stay there for months, does it mean we'll be staying in a hotel for that long?" Akio smilingly said, "A good question, and no, I have a house there. My dad built that house when he started his business in Hawaii. I was born in Japan, and when my dad accepted a partnership with his Hawaiian friend, he brought us there when his company grew. I was in middle school when we moved in there, until before college. My dad wanted me to pursue a career as an architect, so he told me to return to Japan, to take a course in architecture, and before I finished my degree my father expanded his business in the Philippines, with a Filipino businessman, who owned vast hectares of land, that he wanted to develop into subdivisions and a hotel resort. That was where I started, and from then on, more projects were offered to me, and my office grew until it became a multi-billion company, where the Hinode group of companies was born. For now I'm returning to Honolulu, because Dad made a deal with an American in the hotel chain industry," Akio said proudly. "Wow, but why bring us with you, sir, when you already had an office there? And indeed some architects could work with you," Nolan asked curiously. "Yes, there were, but their hands were already full, building and renovating houses. I am used to your building expertise since our hotel project is based here. Are you with me, Nolan, or are you out?" Akio teased. "Of course, sir, I'm in. It would be my first time to see Hawaii with paid expenses. Who am I to decline?" Nolan was all smiles. Then another colleague, Albert, asked Akio, "Sir, how about your search for Mrs. Han? Will you postpone this in the meantime that we're in Hawaii?" Akio looked at him straight and said, "No, the search will continue." 3 days later, Akio's team was on their flight to Hawaii. His team comprised 4 people: Nolan, Albert, Jason, and Nicole. Previously, before the trip, Akio called the Hokkaido builders to prepare his house for him and his team. After the call, the secretary informed Dwayne of Akio and his team's arrival to Honolulu. "Do you mean to say, Abby, that the house I just leased to Mrs. Han was Mr. Akio Hinode's house? How could that be? I was never told that it was the CEO's house. And why did he allow his house to be rented in the first place?" Dwayne was panicking. "Why are you so bothered about his plan regarding his own house? So you better consider convincing Mrs. Han to move out, or your position is on the line. Sir, Akio wants the place to stay intact, since the last time he was there," warned Abby. Dwayne reviewed the house listings for lease, and looked for a house with a similar taste to Mrs. Han's preference. Then he recalled how Mrs. Han reacted gleefully about the beach, so he patiently looked at all the listings close to the waterfront. Then, he found one, and Dwayne was buoyant. He quickly moved, picked up his phone, and called Mrs. Han. Dwayne was nervous, because Mrs. Han was not picking up. He ran to his car and drove off. He was near the house when he spotted Riel and her son walking toward the house. He approached Riel and assisted her with the picnic basket she was carrying. Riel was surprised. "What brings you here this early, Dwayne? It looked like you're edgy. Is there something wrong?" she asked. "Could we talk inside?" Ma'am. Dwayne felt nervous, and Riel felt uncomfortable with Dwayne's approach. "Okay, let's talk." Riel became apprehensive, feeling something was wrong. Can Dwayne succeed in persuading Riel to move out of the house? And what if she hesitated? Will Akio and Riel finally meet? Keep following the Windows of the Heart series on my YouTube and TikTok channels. Few episodes were left towards the ending. Thank you.